Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Prelude to vigyan, bhairav, tantra. Tantra is the scientific way to transform baser into precious. Baser into precious. God is unmanifest creation, and creation is manifest God, traveling along the path. One day you will realize that there is no difference between God and its creation. You realize creation is the manifest God. What is thought? I am speaking to you. Thought is a manifest form of taoshobuddha, and the unmanifest form is the formless, and God is unmanifest compassion. The moment you come to realize this, compassion is born in you. Tantra, there has been songs of Saraha. Saraha, his name was Rahul. He transformed Tibet, just as Bodhidharma is the founder of Zen. Then there is Tilopa's Mahamudra and Vigyan, Bhairav, Tantra. What's the difference between these? One is the way of involvement with awakening or without awakening. But Vigyan, Bhairav, Tantra is totally a different way. It uses the awareness and the breath movements to bring about transformation. Your breath, the passage of the breath in the human body, the channel is from nostril to solar plexus. The pranavayu, the life force or the breath is outside. It touches the nostril. Through the nostril it reaches, it starts its descent. It reaches the solar plexus. These are the two terminals between which, like a local train, like a subway, like a metro, the journey continues. It starts from nostril, goes to solar plexus and comes back. In between these two terminals, the train runs 24/7 without any pause and transports the commuter from one place to another. So when the air touches the nostril, it enters through the windpipe, it reaches the solar plexus, drops the particles, the passengers there, and comes back. Solar plexus has a magnetic force. It is energy source. It pulls because of the vacuum. When the air goes out, a vacuum is created. It pulls the energy from the two base centers, the water and the earth center. That's how the descending center is formed, with solar plexus in the middle as the center. The two lower centers, the earth and the water center, form the base of the triangle. This is descending, this is ascending triangle. The way of Saraha is different. Remember, you can make love to a woman, or a woman can make love without any love in your heart. Without any love in the heart. This is what happens around us. This is pure sexuality or animality. Animals, when they are guided by the instincts, they make love, but there is no love as such. You can call it prostitution as well. On the contrary, you can make love to a woman without any idea of sex. Love is pure communion between two energies. Love is communion between two, pure communion between two energies. A sharing, a dance, a celebration of two energies. Two energies communing together for illumination. This is the way of Tantra. There is no idea of sex in the mind, and you can make love to a woman, and a woman can make love to a man, not thinking at all of sex. This will have a totally different experience. This will have a totally different experience. This is the essence of Tantra. When the whole point is where your mind is. If you are thinking of sex, if your mind is obsessed with it, you simply want to use the woman, or the woman wants to use the man, it is ugly. It has no aesthetics in it, no poetry in it, no dance in it. There is nothing of the beyond in it. It is very muddy. Tantra converted Tibet. Saraha, whose initial name was Rahul, is the founder of Tantra in Tibet, just as Bodhidharma is the founder of Zen. Bodhidharma converted China, Japan, Korea. Saraha converted Tibet. The songs of Saraha have great beauty. They are the foundation of Tantra. You will have to understand first, what is Tantra attitude towards life? What is Tantra vision of life? The fundamental thing is that Tantra is radical, revolutionary, rebellious, and the basic vision is that world is not divided between lower and higher. As such, mind divides things into lower and higher. Look at the wall in front of you. The wall is one piece, but it divided into many sections, the lower and the higher. Can you tell me which is lower and which is higher? What is the relationship between the lower and higher? Lower, without lower, the higher cannot exist. Lower is the beginning of the higher, and higher is the culmination of the lower. The seed is lower than the fruit, but the seed contains the entire possibility or the map of the growth pattern of the fruit. Yes, for the sake of explanation, you have to hang a picture. It has to be at a certain height. So you use it at the middle of the wall or the lower portion of the wall. Just as the foundation of the wall is not seen, it is hidden. Just as the roots of the tree is not seen, but the root supports, nourishes and nurtures the plant. So first and the foremost thing is, according to Tantra, there is nothing lower, nothing higher. The higher and the lower are holding hands together. The higher includes the lower, and lower includes the higher. It is the lower portion of the wall that can attain to the height, to reach to the height. It is the roots that has the capacity that give impetus to the tree to grow taller. The higher is hidden in the lower, so lower is not to be denied. Sex is the seed and love is the fruit. Love is the flowering of sex and compassion is the fruit. You do not have to condemn the lower. You did not create, you did not go and buy sex in the market. It is your inherent quality. You have now, as a human being, this is in all the beings, sentient and insentient. Animals and human together have this desire, urge for sex. But animals do not have consciousness. So sex just remains the need of the physical. In man, when you are interacting with another person full of sex, then it is animalistic. When you have no idea of sex at all in the mind, it is a pure communion of the two energies merging to attain to totality. The lower has to be transformed, just as coal and diamond, they are extracted from the same mine. Coal and diamond are the forms of carbon, organic compounds of carbon with different configuration, with extreme pressure, and when coal remains pressed under the earth for a longer period of time, with the passage of time it is transformed into diamond, the precious. The lower has to be transformed. The lower has to be allowed to move upward. So solar plexus, like a magnet, it pulls the energy from the two lower centers. And when breath comes in, it brings the grace from outside. There is a merger of the two. The solar plexus, the center that connects you to the cosmos, to the existence, is in the center. And that's where the process of transformation begins. The lower has to be allowed to move upwards, and the lower becomes then the higher. There is no kind of unbridging gap between devil and God. Devil is carrying the seed of godliness within, deep down in his heart. And once the heart starts functioning, the devil becomes God. As a result, both devil and divine come from the same root. Devil is the divine, not yet evolved. Just as the seed is fruit, but the process of evolution has not yet begun. Not that devil is against the divine, not that seed is against the fruit. Seed carries in its womb the potentiality to become a flower and then a fruit. Devil is on the way towards the divine. It is not enemy. It is the seed. The divine is the tree that has blossomed fully. The tree remains hidden in the seed, and so seed can never be against the tree. Tree cannot exist without the seed. Poison and nectar are two phases of the same energy. One is life, the other is death. And so is everything, day and night, love and hate, sex and superconsciousness. Tantra says never condemn anything. The attitude of condemnation is the most unwanted and stupid attitude. By condemning, when you condemn something, you are denying yourself the possibility that would have become available to you. There is a possibility in you, but the moment you condemn it, you deny that possibility. Do not condemn mud, because lotus is hidden in the mud. Use the mud to produce the lotus. Of course, mud is not lotus as yet, but it can be, and the creative person, the religious one, will help mud to release lotus from its womb. And lotus can be freed. Lotus can be freed from mud. Saraha is the founder of Tantra vision this way. It is of tremendous importance, and particularly for the present day, present moment in human history, because there is a possibility of new growth to happen. It is the possibilities knocking at the door, and the future is going to be of Tantra. Now no more dualistic attitude can hold man's mind. History says that human mind has been crippled and made him guilty. They have not yet made man free from the prison, and they have condemned everything from food to sex. They have condemned everything from relationship to friendship, condemned all. Love is condemned, body is condemned, mind is condemned. You have not left even an inch for you to stand on. You are hanging in the air. This cannot be tolerated. Tantra can give you a new perspective in life. When we use the word Shiva, because Shiva is the one who gave vigyan, bhairav, tantra, the word is used in two senses. First, Shiva means literally that which is not, beyond. That which is not, eternal, unborn, unmanifest. On the other level, when we say Shiva, we are referring to a certain yogi, the first, who has developed the science of yoga. In yogic culture, Shiva is not looked upon as God, instead as a being who walked this land and lived in the Himalayan range, and he is the very source of yogic tradition. It is said almost 15,000 years ago, a yogi appeared in the upper regions of the Himalaya. No one knew where he came from. His origin was not known. He came and went into intense ecstatic dance on the mountain. People saw that he was experiencing something that nobody has known before, something that they were unable to fathom. So they gathered around him wanting to know what it was. But no one has the courage to go near him because he was so intense, like a blazing fire. So they waited, hoping something would happen. Some people waited for months and they left. It was only the 7 hardcore seekers who are known as mind-born sons of the Creator. They stayed, pleaded and begged him to know all that he is. At least after 84 years of intense austerity, he decided to become a master. On a full moon day, he accepted to teach these 7 sages all that he had known. These are known as 7 mind-born sons of Creator. How long they live and all that is not important or meaningless to me. What is important, what emerged out of this and how beneficial it is for us. This transmission went for and in that Shiva was explaining the secrets of human existence and all that relates. The transmission went on for a long period of time. After many years, when it was complete and had produced 7 fully enlightened beings who are today celebrated as 7 sages. It is said, according to astronomy, there is a constellation of 7 stars in the sky that appears clearly visible on a certain period of time. In that, the 4 form a rectangle, and 3 from one point of the rectangle two are in line with, and the last one is perpendicular to it. So it forms that shape in the sky. Each one of these star represents a sage. These represent certain inner states in every individual. They possess extraordinary abilities. They were custodians of the divine wisdom. They were scientists, but their high level of spirituality allowed them to coexist perfectly with the nature. These, metaphorically, they stand for 7 senses or 7 vital airs in the body. Another time I will explain the 7 senses and 7 bodies. So they are connected with us. In that way we are connected to this ancient yogi, the master who guides us. They are mentioned in the scriptures. They were spread in the different parts of the world. After completion of their initial training, the masters sent them throughout the entire world. Only one stayed with the master. Another one came lower than the Himalayan regions and formed the Shaivism. Shaivism is the word that comes from Shiva in Kashmir. That was Kashyap. Another one went to south of Indian peninsula that came to be known as Agastya. So on and so forth. There is, if I go on these 7 sages, it will take a while to explain all that. Important thing is they are the 7 greatest sages of the Vedic realm. They have attained a semi-immortal status. They are of exceedingly long lifespan due to their yogic powers. They are assigned to be present within us as 7 vital airs, as 7 senses. Let us only at this moment understand this, because my purpose is to explain, to take you through the teachings that Shiva gave to his consort as Devi in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, explaining the 712 techniques of the breath movement. These are 112 techniques of meditation. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, we will continue on this. I will see that if there is a possibility to put something, post something as for your sake, but I have to work on that. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.